Hi YouTube, so we're back out again tonight with round 2 of MagLite versus the world. So from round 1 I've made a few changes. I've still got my my trusty old D3 here running the latest Xenon 6D bulb. Now previously I had it with 7 AA in the loops in there. I've now got it with 8. So going off and doing some maths, of course if you had 6 D-cell alkaline batteries, they're 1.5 volts, whereas the inner loops are only 1.2. So we're now at 9.6 volts in total for this, instead of 9 volts. So we're just slightly overdriving it. And I would say it is working quite better, or quite a bit better. Definitely you can see we've got a bit more output. It's quite a usable little torch, really, or a little torch, quite a usable large torch. We've got some decent sort of throw out of it. Definitely light up some trees down the way, and sort of up close it's quite nice. We've got quite a good spill beam. You can definitely use this as a torch to go out and walk by and sort of see what you're doing. And it, you can widen it out quite nice, and give yourself quite a nice bit of spill beam. You can see you've got a little bit of a donut and a few artifacts in there, especially if I rotate it. So definitely on the LEDs you don't really get that, but it is quite a nice torch. There's no reason why you couldn't use an incandescent in this day and age. It's not lighting up the world. The spill beam is not the brightest, as we can see. It's more about that hot spot. And when you focus that in, so it's a bit stiff to do it one-handed, you do get quite a focused narrow beam. But I'm quite pleased actually, and I should really have been running it on 8 AAs previously. I think I didn't because, obviously 8 batteries is quite a lot, and I don't think I actually had 8 at the time, so I started at 6. I might get myself an extra bulb and try it on 9. I don't know whether I'll be chancing my arm too much by trying to put an extra battery in there, and whether we're going to end up just insta flashing it. That's why I'll probably buy a bulb first. Yeah, this is quite nice. In other news, I went back and retried my charger to try and get those 32700s a little bit more charged up. So I've also got the mag charger with me. So we're still running the Philips bulb in this, 5761, 5716, I can never remember which way it is. So you're running it on LifePo 4 2S, which in theory, you meant to charge them up to 3.6 volts with a resting voltage of 3.2. I still couldn't quite get them to show 3.6 fully charged, but they definitely took several thousand milliamp more on the charger, and were showing a higher static voltage. I'm also seeing over 500 lumens now on my light box of it, and I think you can sort of see the results here. It is quite a bit brighter if we shine it down the tree, at the tree down there. I think the biggest thing you noticed over the 3D is the beam is probably 3, maybe 4 times the size. I wouldn't say we're necessarily getting any more distance out of it. Very, very similar, I think, on the CD figures, but certainly we are getting quite a lot more light, and we've got that sort of distance down range, but up close we kind of get a nice big illuminated area as well, without having to defocus it. So up close we're sort of matching what we could get out of the D3 by having to defocus it. But we don't actually lose anything down range at all. So this is really quite impressive. And of course that spill beam is a bit brighter as well. The whole thing is just brighter. Don't know if I can get the focus to work one-handed out here. I really need to get a tripod for the camera. Yeah, just a bit of that. So you can see you can induce that donut hole there and really get this beam quite big. That's probably about as large as we can get. So we've still got some distance even with that. We're reaching, not the far trees, but you can see we're still lighting up stuff a little way away. But we're lighting up quite a large area now. Not quite up to sort of modern LED standards, but, we're looking pretty good at the amount of light we're actually putting out of this thing. And 500 lumens is, not anything to sort of blink your eye out or snub. So, I think it just, again, goes to show that some of these old torches, some of this old Incan technology is still pretty useful in this day and age. And of course we've got these lovely sort of rich colours and great CRI that you just don't get from some of the LEDs. I do think the D3 is a little bit whiter beam than this Philips bulb, although there isn't a huge amount in it. But we'll see how we go. Now I've got these batteries fully charged up, see what sort of run times we get, and you know, if this is going to be a long-term solution, or if I need to go back to the drawing board on it. So I do have another light, as this is MagLite versus the world. So this one's actually a little bit of a custom light. So this is an Eagle Eye. So many years ago, the BLF forum did a custom light, which was I can't remember, it was a Eagle Eye, was it X6 or A6? I can't remember now. It eventually spawned the Cronus X6, but this was one of the early lights, and it just had I think it was an XML2 in it, and a custom driver running about 2.8ish 3 amps. What I've actually got in here, hopefully you can see it, is I've converted this to a triple XPG. So got a great big copper slug in there as a heat sink, and we've got the BLF driver, so we've got the 7 outputs, and we've got some nice neutral white XPGs, and you can just see floodlight, we're obviously getting a lot more out of these LEDs. But distance wise, okay, you can just see that big tree on the camera. It's a bit faint. Definitely doesn't throw like those MagLites do. The torch itself is, you know, pretty tiny. It's quite weighty, and you know, it's got quite a chunky head on it. But yeah, up close, obviously, the LEDs are really taking the win. I can't remember how many lumens this thing's putting out. It's not a huge number. It's only about 1900 lumens or something. I'll put the proper stats up on what I recorded. But it's just interesting to sort of see. Actually, we've got quite a nice neutral white beam here. Colours look pretty good on camera. Let's just see if we can knock the brightness levels down a little bit. Let's make it a little bit fairer. Can I actually get the MagLite running side by side? Let's have a look. Oh yeah, so that's the Philips bulb in the mag charger, and it's like, you know, you think that looks quite a nice sort of warm tint from the XPGs, and suddenly, whoa, no, definitely not. The Incan definitely has better again. It's a lot warmer tint, makes everything look a bit more friendly. You know, I just find it really interesting to sort of see the differences between the beams. Oh God, turning the MagLite off now doesn't half make everything look sort of cool white with this this LED torch. But anyhow, that's this edition of MagLite versus World. I'll see if I can be a bit more creative next time. I do have some other MagLites. They're not all going to be incandescent. Some LED ones on the shelf as well. Some are factory, some are retrofit. So I'll have a little play about with them, and we'll see what happens next.